guiding light is all I know. Through wood and steel, through fire and lace, I'm blessed to walk within your grace. Is to a throig arcane. You laid the path before me. You guided every step. Raise the hammer, string the bow. Her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the glass the dead time it's sure? We'll build the land, our hearts within. From dawn till dusk, I work, I strive. With your blessing, I'll survive. The loom, the forge, the sword, the grain in your name, I rise again. Got buat, got tolan, got trio. In you lies strength, in you lies skill. Each victory, each talent, each trial. No task too great, no skill too small. Your gifts, dear goddess, guide us all. Into force. Without your light, we have no guide, but with your hand, our place abides. Raise the hammer, string the bow. Her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead? By the grace of the goddess we are free. We'll build the land, our hearts within. I'm blessed to walk within your grace. Blessed by her grace, forever.
Welcome. And I am definitely having a few issues tonight, so we will continue like nothing has ever happened. Since we're a little late, I do apologize for that. But welcome. This channel, as you may know, or may not know, maybe the first time you're here, we seek wisdom. And the title of this series is Pax Dei, The Search for Steel. I'm your host, Daniel, and we'll be deep diving into a topic that affects all of us. Conflict. Something we avoid like the plague. So how do we manage it? How do we resolve it? And most importantly, how do we turn conflict into an opportunity for growth rather than destruction? As you can see, I do play Pax Dei while I talk, so certain things will distract me from the conversation we're having. So, that reminds me of the first distraction. I always do an old coding thing. It's one of the first things I ever learned. But in the chat, hello world. So no matter where you are in the world, we will be going over cultural and conflict as well, or how different cultures are affected by the conflict. If this is the first you've been to my channel, this is Pax Dei. I'm in the area of Gale on the province of Mary in the region of Gallia. So I'm right over here on the left-hand side where it says plot. The wildlands are just to my right. That was on purpose. And of course we have the Shire down Ardbog, Ulad, or Lade, and Wit down here. They are mostly the player areas where players can build their actual plots and build houses and such things like that, and they're the easiest areas to move around in without being killed arbitrarily. And of course, we have the gates. The gates are to a PvP area. This is called the Gwydion Stone. And of course, the Wyvern Gate. And there's one other gate up here called the Pilgrim Gate. So all these gates lead somewhere in the world of Pax Dei in a grander map. So there's actually 4 player areas and 1 PvP area that binds all of them together, and that's the Pilgrim Gate. Or, I'm sorry, the Gwydion Gate down here in the corner. The Gwydion Stone, excuse me. All right. Now that we have established that, we can get into why we pick all this this type of topic. Well, we're going to look at conflict management tonight through the lens of ancient philosophy. That's the channel's hallmark claim to fame, if you will. Not a lot of people, well, I should say a lot of people overlook ancient wisdom, and I'm trying to bring it back. Ancient wisdom and some modern wisdom, the great thinkers, the age of reason, if you will, or even before that. So, going to look through that our lens of ancient philosophy, pulling the wisdom from the greatest thinkers of all time. We're talking Socrates, Confucius, Sun Tzu, Marcus Aurelius, and many more. But we're not going to stop there. We're also bringing modern psychological research, leadership studies, and even lessons from the digital worlds of our MMORPGs, such as Pax Dei. Whether you're navigating personal struggles, work disputes, or work relationships, or intense guild drama in your favorite online game, this episode is packed with insights that will help you handle conflicts better. So settle in. This is Pax Dei, The Search for Steel, episode 104, Ancient Wisdom for Conflict Management. If you're not familiar with Pax Dei at all, and this is your first time, steel is a very hard to come by item. It's made from a node that you have to mine called pure iron ore. And you need to be very highly skilled to use it. I will be doing an episode just on Pax Dei. And I had seen somebody traversing up in this area. So they're not there. Okay. So before we get into the solutions, let's make sure we're all on the same page. Conflict management is a broad topic. I'm not going to complete or hit every nuance of conflict management within 2 hours. We could probably talk for an entire semester in college. And we're going to have to define a few key terms right up front, so we're on the same page. I like to do that for a various amount of reasons. One being that we really need to understand or have a foundation of the terms that we're using. Any deviation from those definitions is going to bring in a unique case or a different conversation. That's why I like to bring in the definitions first. So trust me, definitions may sound dry, but they are essential. Because you know how we can manage conflict. How can we manage conflict when we don't even agree on what it is? All right, and every once in a while you'll see me bring up this screen, and it allows me to manipulate my note screen on my left. So if you were wondering about that, today we have to figure out what we're going to do while we're learning about conflict management. So these are my skills. So what do I want to do today? I'm close to cooking. Charcuterie is always on my to-do list. Maybe we'll go get more cotton. Let's go get more cotton. It's a journey. And we'll have to armor up. And I use leather armor when I'm going into known areas that aren't exactly the worst for me. Meaning I don't need my plate armor. So I won't use my plate armor. And of course I will need at least one weapon. And I am working on my axe, so I will bring my axe along. And I will bring my potions along. The ones that will save my life. I am an alchemist by trade as well. So that should be enough for me to get down there and look around for the cotton. There are creatures down there. The wrought iron axe does a lot of damage, but I'm still not as proficient as I'd like to be, so as we journey, and of course, I need to eat. I'm still working off some, I tested some bakery items, so my hit points are going to be pretty high, but my stamina is going to be pretty low. Oh, somebody moved in over there. Damn. That means they took resources. Bad choice, dude. Anyway. Whatever. The servers are getting more and more full with new players, and I'm not going to not promote that. We need new players, right? We need the game to survive. I was trying to avoid having people right next to me, though. But you can't carve out a plot of land just for yourself. And I won't be using a couple cheats I know of, or I shouldn't say cheats. They're baked into the game. And one of them is as you go through the barrier, because they have to load each section of the areas, you can hold down your sprint button, and it's almost like it's a forever sprint. There we go. And it's their early access, so they're still developing certain things, so keep that in mind as well. All right. Let's see. Let's define conflict management, the base or the foundation or the reason for our coming together tonight. Well, then to play and have fun. So this is the process of handling disputes in a rational, balanced way. It includes strategies like mediation, negotiation, and reconciliation. In simple terms, it's about finding that sweet spot where disagreements become opportunities for growth. Then, as we move into conflict resolution, well, what does that mean? Well, these are specific methods used to end conflict, usually by finding common ground. Think of it as a toolkit you can use when you're ready to put a fight to rest. Mediation is when a neutral third party steps in to help the two sides reach an agreement. That's mediation. It's like having a referee who will guide you toward a fair resolution. Negotiation. This is where the back and forth discussion is aimed at compromise, where both parties speak, listen. I did a whole episode on active listening, and slowly inch toward a mutual understanding. I also did an episode on communication, what it actually is. Many people need reminding because it has components to it, and some of us don't abide by those points or the bullets, right? All right. So negotiation, let's see. reconciliation is our next one. And as a matter of fact, as you're watching the game, just take a look at. I think they're using Unreal Engine 5.1, but a few instances here or there. Like I said, it's early access, but it's absolutely beautiful. All right, so reconciliation is the act of repairing a relationship after the conflict. It's about healing and rebuilding trust once the storm has passed. So these definitions aren't just random, right? They come from a well-researched sources in psychology, business leadership, and organizational behavior. As we go through this episode, we'll compare how the ancient thinkers approached conflict with that modern and kind of, how should I say, merge the modern research. What is it? What does it tell us today? What does modern research tell us today about conflict and resolution and such? And we'll be able to see the ancients had the answers. We just have to listen to them. Okay, now our discussion today is broken into 3 parts. This is important. We got personal conflict, workplace conflict, and MMORPG conflict. Personal conflict is our inner struggles in relationships. Workplace conflict is because, let's be real, who hasn't had tension with a boss or a coworker? MMORPG conflict, because even in virtual worlds, human nature doesn't change. Each section will, so we'll start with definitions, then we'll explore historical and cultural perspectives. I'll throw in some fun facts about the times of our philosophers, when they lived, right? To get a perspective of their trials and tribulations. And then we'll get into modern insights and practical examples. Sound good? Let's begin. Let's dive in. Both feet. It's cold water, but... Oh, by the way, you'll see bears. Bears have, like, a lot of hit points. So, can I take them in this configuration? Armor configuration? The answer is yes, I can. It will take a long time with my axe, though. So we choose not to. We choose not to. And I don't need bear. I need cotton. That is my goal. I am a very pro tip when I'm pursuing a profession. I go out and get the materials for said profession advancement. Sometimes when I know the materials won't equal an entire backpack full of stuff, I'll get a couple other things because I can advance other professions as well. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with something we deal with all the time. Well, not all the time, hopefully. But personal conflict. Maybe it's with a friend, family member, or even that voice inside your head that keeps second-guessing everything you do. What is personal conflict? Well, personal conflict is that inner or relational tension, excuse me, can't talk tonight, that arises when different values, emotions, or desires collide. So some key terms we have to define. Oh, by the way, I'll just stop right there. Look, that is a gray bear, or a black bear, 24. Gray bears are 34, and brown bears are 44. The level is in, you have to be playing for a little bit to understand levels. However, your food is going to give you the opportunity to actually do some damage. I haven't really had a solid level to level indication. Like, I guess I'm level 40, but not on my axe. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's a little game interruption, but that's okay. So, some key terms we need to look at is self-awareness, right? We have understanding. Understanding your own emotions and triggers is the first step. For example, notice how your heart rate races when you're upset. And ask yourself why. Empathy. Recognizing and understanding how others feel. Ah, crap. I was too close to the dire wolf. I should be able to out-sprint him to the bridge. There we go. He's probably not going to pursue me. There's one more up here. That's why I keep my axe out. I can draw my axe fairly quickly, but anyway. So empathy. We understand what empathy is, right? So recognizing and understanding how others feel, and this can help you see a conflict from another's perspective, right? He's up there on the left. So all I have to do is go around him, get up here. Ah, crap. I didn't want the boar to come at me, though. They do so much damage. So much damage. And, yeah, with the axe, it's not the best, way to go about fighting. As you can see, I've already taken some damage, so we'll potion up. And we'll, avoid... Let me avoid... There's... mean possums. I always skin because it's a skill, and the more animals I skin, the better off I am. Ah, crap. There's another one up here. Mean possums. We'll get back to the conversation here in a second. I just gotta pay attention so I don't exactly die. That would be embarrassing. Dying isn't a bad thing in Pax Dei, but it leaves all your equipment where you died, and you have to run basically naked back to your corpse to load everything back up onto your resurrected body. Still annoying. There's one more wolf, and then we'll get back to the conversation. No, and Pax Dei is great because you know your area, right? I just casted a spell that allows me to sprint faster and longer for 7 seconds, and then it starts to eating up my stamina. So we're good to go. Okay. So communication. This is the art of the exchange. Thoughts without letting emotions boil over into the argument. All right. So let me read that definition because I totally botched it. This is the art of exchanging thoughts without letting emotions boil over into an argument. And I think everybody can relate to that. All right, so studies in cognitive behavioral therapy show that increased self-awareness is one of the most important tools for managing personal conflict. Whether you understand your emotional patterns, or when you understand your emotional patterns, you're less likely to be controlled by them. That's true in a lot of different circumstances with your emotions, so that's some pretty good advice. So let's bring some ancient wisdom into this. So Socrates, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure completely killed my pronunciation of Socrates, and I have to fight to actually say Socrates. Put in the chat if anybody else has that issue. Anyway, one of the original deep thinkers from ancient Greece, Socrates, famously said, "Know thyself." He believed that self-knowledge was the cornerstone of wisdom. Fun fact, Socrates lived in a time when Athens was the epicenter of arts and philosophy, an era of democratic debate and intellectual exploration. His method of questioning laid the groundwork for what we now call the Socratic method, which encourages probing inquiry in order to uncover underlying truths. Today, it's been considered taboo to ask questions. Or if you ask questions, you must not be on my side, right? The conflict. Oh, you're asking questions. You can't be with me. You must be against me. Well, Socrates would definitely and successfully tell you you're wrong. And anybody who does that, well, we'll find out tonight. We can manage that conflict now, can't we? Okay. Marcus Aurelius, he was a Roman emperor, and he created Stoicism. He ruled during the period of relative peace in the Roman Empire, which I think everybody would agree that the Roman Empire wasn't exactly the most peaceful. The Empire, not the Republic. The Republic was a little bit more peaceful, believe it or not. And there are two distinct time frames from what people tell me. But anyway, that aside, I'm looking for cotton, so it's really hard to find if you don't look for it. So every once in a while, I'm going to have to pay attention to the game. He practiced what we now refer to as cognitive distancing, stepping back from his emotions to view situations objectively. I sworn there was... Oh, they're up here. Like I said, you get to know where your resources are. You can map them out too, but cotton's one of those I don't really care to map out because it's everywhere down here. It's not really a rare resource, so I'll map out rare resources. For example, if you look at my map, there's a rare resource over here, and I mapped out every location of it. I'm down here, and if I start doing that, I'll just have like a complete wash of resource mapping. Okay, so back to Marcus Aurelius. So imagine him amidst the grandeur of ancient Rome, scribbling his thoughts in what we now call Meditations, a personal journal that has inspired millions. Confucius, because I use all ancient wisdom, not just I don't try to selectively do ancient wisdom. So if I find it, I will use it because there's no order for wisdom. Culture we'll talk about, but the actual order for the wisdom itself doesn't exist, right? Okay. So Confucius from ancient China, if you didn't know, he emphasized harmony in relationships. And I'm looking for cotton as I'm doing this and looking at my notes because I didn't memorize what he did. I know what he did, but I don't think putting into my words would give you an impactful, insightful way of taking notes. If you are, I encourage it. Or you can just time mark this so you can come back to it. Okay. So he believed that mastering oneself, one could master any conflict. In fact, Confucius lived during the Eastern Zhou dynasty. or Shou dynasty. ZHOU. My Chinese friends would be like laughing at me at this point. I think it's ZHO is Shou or Shao dynasty. I could be wrong though. I have to ask them. Anyway, I'm just going off on a tangent. It was a time when Chinese society was deeply hierarchical, but also rich in culture, tradition, and moral philosophy. His teachings shaped Eastern Asia for millennia. I don't think there was anybody in Eastern Asia who didn't know his name. He was widespread. Okay. Lao Tzu, as one of my friends from China said, or Taiwan in this case, he goes, "Yeah, the old man." We were joking. It was funny though. He made it. I was like, "Yeah, I guess you could talk about one of the great philosophers as the old man." And we was just totally joking. No disrespect intended. So, Lao Tzu, he founded Taoism. So he taught that sometimes the best way to handle a fight is to simply flow around it. Like water, finding the easiest path. He lived during the same era as Confucius, as a matter of fact, though his focus was more on nature and balance rather than strict social order. I've done several videos on the Wu Wei, or effortless motion, and Lao Tzu was basically the, I wouldn't say inventor, but he was the one who thought about it and wrote it down, right? I wouldn't say the most, because we don't know who didn't write the wisdom down. We just know that Lao Tzu did. In the I Ching, if I remember correctly. But anyway, each of these thinkers offers a unique lens, right? And that's why I picked them. Whether it was Socrates, whose call for self-examination, or Lao Tzu, who gives us the reminder to adapt naturally. Their wisdom shows us that a personal conflict is not something to fear, but an opportunity to grow. Pretty cool, right? I'm making that connection really does make my day easier, and I actively try to use Wu Wei when I can. And I'll tell you, my stress levels are at the bottom, right? They are low. All right, bring up my notes because we're going into modern research on personal conflict. So now let's fast forward to today, right? So modern research backs up a lot of these ancient ideas. For instance, mindfulness is rooted in Buddhist traditions, and it has been scientifically proven to reduce stress and improve emotional regulation. Studies published in in journals like the Journal of Behavioral Medicine indicate that even a few minutes of daily mindfulness practice can significantly lower our reactivity to conflict. So what does this mean for you? Well, put simply, taking a moment to be present, you can diffuse your emotional reactions and respond more thoughtfully. And as I say, in most times I bring up meditation, I like to bring up the fact that prayer in the Christian religion or the Islamic religion or the Jewish religion, right? All of these, prayer is mindfulness. It takes you out of the moment. It also reminds you that there is something greater than oneself, right? So keep that in mind as we're going through this journey. we're not discounting religion, though, as a useful practice. All right, let's do. Let's make this actionable, right? That's the one of the points of my channel is, it's great to know all this stuff, but how do you use it? What is it? How is it useful to the listener, to the person, right? I always hated going to school and them telling me that telling me all this information and never giving me the purpose for the understanding, or the purpose for the information without the understanding of what it was used for, right? So here's some practical, if you're dealing with personal conflict, here are some practical steps, and we're gonna have some fun parkouring here. Parkour. No, I thought I'd make that. You do take fall damage every once in a while, so, and there are ancient structures which are cool to come in. They did a really good detail on the art, by the way, as a side note. It's like I'm avoiding telling you how to use these ancient wisdom stuff. No, kidding. Always pause before reacting. That's one of the major ones, right? So what does that mean? When you're triggered, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this conflict real, or is it just my emotions taking over? Asking the question provides that pause, and the breath also provides that pause. Bring yourself into alignment with the moment and your own feelings. Use the Socratic method, or questioning method, right? So what does that mean? It means I'm on an island. I didn't know this was an island. Okay. I usually don't take that way. Exploring is great in this game. I love exploring. Maybe one time we'll just go exploring. I'll get my real armor on. That way, if I do head into battle, I won't die. Alright, anyway. So, use the Socratic questioning method. So, instead of getting defensive, ask the other person thoughtful questions. Like, what makes you feel that way? But don't be the tone. And I go back to my communications episode. Tone is going to provide you the acceptance of your question, as well as your body language, and there are a few other things. I highly advise people go to my communications podcast and take a listen. Another question we can ask is, well, how can we find a solution together? Depending on the situation, right? This method can open deeper dialogue. Yeah, crap. Totally didn't watch where I was going. And journaling. So what is journaling? Well, you try to write down your thoughts and feelings. Much like Marcus Aurelius, putting your emotions on paper can give you the clarity you need to move forward. We're not going to do that in a moment. However, journaling is for before you respond. And trust me, when you don't respond to somebody's aggression, if you will, you may find more favor when you go back and start asking questions, when you yourself have a better understanding of where your feelings are. If you feel attacked, you fight or you run. It's part of our nature for an immediate response. So in not doing our immediate response, we have the ability to be mindful and present in the moment However, we can also move to a different area, get away from the contact, journal a little bit. So, for example, here's a good example. Imagine you're upset with a close friend, canceling plans last minute. We've all been there. I don't think anybody. So instead of lashing out, you might pause, journal about your feelings. Why are you mad because they canceled? Right? That's a valid question to yourself. Why are you mad? Okay, write it down. Then approach your friend with questions that invite understanding. Don't just question them, but the questions that you come up with must provide you with understanding of why, basically, you're trying to find out why they did it. So, it not only helps you manage your emotions, but can also deepen your relationship. That wasn't a lot of cotton. And I forgot to pray for grace today. This gives you a bonus when you're farming. I should have done it when I got down here, but I didn't. That's all right. There's plenty of cotton left to farm. See that little green area that I got 7 more than I would have without the blessing. All right, and that's what the entrance song is for, by the way. I made that song exclusively for grace, the grace of the goddess. I don't know if they have a goddess yet. Their lore is still being put together, but there is in my mind. My MMORPG is strong. Could be a pantheon of gods, for sure. A lot of people have taken to the effect of building what look to be Christian churches on some areas. I haven't found everybody's plots of land, but that was kind of cool. People are very creative. Love it. Okay, let's see. Now let's take these ideas into a new area. The workplace. So workplace conflict. If you ever worked with other humans, which could be debatable, you've experienced conflict, right? So whether it's clashing with personalities or power struggles or simply miscommunication, it happens. So let's break it down. Workplace conflict involves disagreements or tensions between colleagues, teams, or even between employees and management in some key terms, or I should say in some instances. I'm still trying to play the game and talk to you at the same time and look at my notes. They say, I don't know who they is, but they say for every task you're doing, your IQ drops by 10. By the end of this, I might be dead. Anyway, there's a boar. I don't want to deal with the boar. Let's see if there's something over here. There we go. This is where the Zebians are. The Zebians used to be a demon worshipping race. So they're pretty much psychotic killers that will rush after you, and they usually don't carry anything good. Maybe we'll take an episode and actually go kill some Zebians. They hit hard too. They don't hit without purpose. Let's just say that. So let's define the workplace conflict. So it's disputes that arise from differences in opinions, goals, or values within an organization. And why do we define it that way? Because workplace is different than personal. Can you have a personal conflict within the workplace? 100%. So what it constitutes a workplace conflict is what I thought I would provide. So power dynamics, let's define that. In a way, this is the way that which authority and influence are distributed and negotiated among team members. I am still looking. There's some boar. I can't take... Well, I could probably take 2 boar. No, probably not. Honestly. I barely took 1 boar. You can't run from boar. You have to block boar. And blocking boar eats up my durability of my weapon. There is durability for weapons, so you gotta be careful. Alright. It's such a long journey for cotton, but I'm at a point in tailoring where I need certain resources. I can't use the ones that are around my house anymore, which is flax. I can use wool too, but I have to kill a lot of animals for wool, mostly bears. Anyway, that's a not a workplace conflict, but it certainly is a game pro tip. Oh, that's a Zebian up there. I never noticed them before. See, that's a Zebian right there. Level 10, he's a lookout. I could probably take him. Yeah, I could probably take him with the axe. I'd be better off with a shield. And a sword, maybe, or a spear. I'm much better with those types of weapons. But anyway, at any rate, let's keep talking about the subject you came to listen to. You didn't come to see me play. Maybe. If you did, thank you. Thank you very much. Hopefully I meet your expectations. It's not a hard game, honestly. Not yet. It's hard in the fact that you need to level up in order to actually go into places like this. I wouldn't tell a level 1 character to come down here if they didn't have a really good understanding of the game. Or a low-level character who wouldn't be able to eat hearty food to raise their stamina and health. Anyway, I digress. I think there's one down here. Yeah, there we go. Almost full. Almost. And then I can teleport back to my home valley. Oh, there he is. It's like quantum physics. If you don't look at him, he doesn't exist. But once you look at him, kind of sort of like quantum mechanics. Because honestly, if I got close enough to him, he'd let me know he does exist, because he'd hit me hard. Anyway, at any rate. Alright. So, power dynamics, we already went over. So let's go with mediation and negotiation. Very important aspects. I didn't want the caster plant. Let's get rid of that. I have plenty of caster. Some up here. I could have been wrong. Like I said, I'm almost at capacity in my backpack. And I can talk unfettered because running back to my house is not that difficult once I hit my home valley. If you have a great graphics card, put your resolution up to the highest. If you don't have it so great, it's still a worthwhile game. I'm using, what am I using? The 3070 Ti. I want to get a new 4070. But, alas, not a millionaire yet. Anyway, so mediation and negotiation. We use structured methods, or they are structured methods, that encourage open dialogue and compromise, often facilitated by a neutral party. So I think everybody understands that. Now, to find a good mediator is going to be tough. Why? Because are they actually neutral? All right, we're ready to head back. Okay. So let's picture a team project where two leaders have different visions. Using the frameworks like the Thomas Kilmann conflict mode instrument, I had to read that for my notes, can help you understand if you're avoiding the issue, competing, compromising, collaborating, or collaborating to resolve it. Now, let me say this again, because this kind of goes to the core of the conflict resolution, because when you're at work, you're looking either to avoid the issue, you're either competing, the issue's making you compete with somebody else, or you're compromising, meaning, yeah, we can do this, but we can only do so much of it, So there's conflict in the compromise, right? People want you to do 100%, you're saying, I want to do 70%, etc., right? So, and then you have collaborating as well. So collaborating is probably the best conflict resolution you could possibly have. However, it also creates conflict because instead of doing something on your own, now you have other people that you have to work with, right? All right. So what is ancient wisdom? What ancient wisdom can we use? There's Sven Cheddar. Is that who lives there? Well done, dude. Well done. Let's get him back a little bit. Really? Whatever. Get out of there. I'm like chopping down trees. That's funny. I skinned them while I was being attacked by the boar. That's awesome. Anyway. And for those of you new to the channel, after I get my backpack full and I'm just heading back to my house, I'm going to just completely and utterly destroy animals so I can get my skinning leveled. That's all I'm doing. Anybody else can take whatever I kill. All right, so ancient philosophies offer timeless advice for handling disputes, even in today's modern office. So Aristotle, we're going back thousands of years, right? He was a giant brain in ancient Greece. Aristotle emphasized civic virtue and ethical leadership. He believed that open dialogue and rational debate were essential for a healthy society. Fun fact, Aristotle lived during a period of intellectual flourishing in Athens, where art, politics, and philosophy were deeply entwined. Wow, the other guy didn't come over. Awesome. I missed. I missed the last one. Like I said, your home valley, you're not as able to die when you're higher level. Really? Annoying. Okay. So his ideas about ethics and virtue continue to influence the modern leadership and management practices. I mean, period, I guess. I mean, I was going to say today, but honestly, it's basically, you just drop the mic. Let's see. Socrates. Once again, Socrates reminds us of the power of questioning. In a workplace setting, asking probing questions can help uncover the roots of disagreement. Instead of letting conflict fester, try asking, what's the core issue here? And how can we address it together? Oh, by the way, I try to do this as well because I'm trying to get better for like combat situations that have baddies that can really do damage. So that's part of why I'm doing this as well. So there's always a reason behind it in Pax Dei. Whether that's to gain a skill or to gain a technique or to try something out where if I fail, I'm not going to die. All good stuff. All good stuff. So Confucius, from ancient China again, right? Confucius taught leaders... He taught leaders that they should lead by example, right? That means that sound meant my weapon went up. I think I'm using a great axe, so level 19. Not bad. Well, not bad, but I need to really get that up a lot more than level 19. Everything else is 40. I want to be a quote-unquote weapons master, and I'm going to call myself a weapons master, but I have all weapons at 40. I'd probably call myself a weapons master before that, but I'm not going to. Because the actual... to get to level 40 takes a long time. And anybody who does it is, I would consider, a weapons master. That bunny's gonna be mine. It doesn't matter, bunny or boar, I skin at the same rate. So, pretty cool. And there is an aiming mechanism here that you have to kind of do. So his emphasis on moral integrity and harmonious relationships is vital in any workplace. And there's a lot of people coming up. I was hoping nobody would be next to me, but I guess people are, they like to be next to people. Weird. It didn't matter. Yeah, I punched it to death. Anyway. So, in his time during the Eastern Shao dynasty, the emphasis on respect and order was central to maintaining a social stability as a whole. That lesson still holds true today. Sun Tzu, although primarily known for his military treatise, The Art of War, Sun Tzu's insight on strategy. Yeah, I'm totally off key. Awesome. So his insights on strategy and understanding your opponent are incredibly applicable to workplace disputes. He advised knowing both your strengths and weaknesses as well of those of your adversary, so knowing your enemy, essentially, without saying that. That would offend somebody, right? Anyway. Your adversary, sorry. A concept that can guide negotiations and conflict resolution in a corporate setting, right? For instance, imagine a scenario. Give me a second. Let me, I gotta look at my notes, but at the same time, if I offload one of these, I can make 51. Okay. And this is how you get the experience and move up. But I don't think my experience, yeah, I need 1 million to get to the next level. So it's going to be, and if I'm only given 5,000, it's not going to be this time. Anyway, modern research in organizational behavior supports these ancient strategies. So studies published in the Academy of Management journal show that structured mediation sessions and conflict resolution training leads to improved teamwork and productivity. Here's some practical. Did I? Yeah, I did. I was already in the screen where I could actually. Okay, look at my notes. So here's some practical strategies for managing workplace conflict. I'll list them all and then I'll go back and define them. There's structured mediation sessions, active listening exercises, and role-playing scenarios. So in the first one, structured mediation sessions, set up formal meetings where all parties can voice their concerns in a controlled environment. Use a neutral facilitator to guide the conversation. You can also use the active listening exercises. So organize a team building exercise where each member practices listening without interruption. This fosters understanding and empathy. Like anything that I mention in my podcasts or any teaching that you do receive anywhere, any learning that you do, you have to practice it. You have to exercise it in order to command it, to become a master at it, right? So what are the role-playing scenarios? Well, you conduct training sessions with simulated conflict scenarios. It helps employees practice negotiation skills and see conflicts from a different perspective, a more playful, structured perspective, right? So, for example, consider a situation where miscommunication escalates into a departmental conflict. Not that anyone that is listening has ever been there. So, by organizing a mediation session, each party can explain their viewpoint, right? We can guide the questions, and that can lead to identifying shared goals, like improving overall performance. thereby creating a win-win situation. So in summary, managing workplace conflict involves blending the ethical leadership of ancient thinkers with modern practical strategies. It encourages open dialogue, structured mediation, and empathy-driven exercises, which will transform disputes into opportunities for growth and collaboration. Now let's shift gears again and explore the domain that might seem less traditional, but it's equally complex. Conflict in the realm of MMORPG. Now for some, something a little different, conflict in MMORPGs. If you've ever been a part of a raid group or a guild, or just a world, you know that drama can escalate fast. But here's the thing. Conflict in gaming communities follows the same fundamental principles as conflict in real life. As I mentioned in a paper I wrote on LinkedIn, MMORPGs are real life. They're just an escape from the mundane, right? Okay. So let's talk in the digital world. Conflict can occur among players, within guilds, or between rival factions, or friendly factions, and something came up, right? So let's get some key definitions here. So we have virtual leadership, we have online mediation, and we have community management. Well, virtual leadership is the skill of guiding and influencing a community in the online environment. Online mediation is the process of resolving disputes via digital communication, where tone and context are especially challenging. Community management, strategies to foster healthy and respectful online community to ensure everyone plays fair. So now you might wonder, what do ancient philosophies have to offer in the world of online gaming? Well, quite a bit. Lao Tzu, his principle, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished, teaches us the value of balance. Even in a fast-paced digital competitions, staying calm and flowing with the situation can yield a better outcome. Lao Tzu lived during a time when simplicity and natural harmony were prized, an approach that can temper even the hottest online debates. Aristotle, his emphasis on virtue and excellence translates into fair play and honor. In ancient Athens, the pursuit of excellence wasn't just about personal achievement, it was about contributing to the greater good. Today, that means encouraging sportsmanship and ethical conduct in gaming communities. Confucius, his teachings on respect and order are crucial for maintaining online hierarchies. Confucian ideas about leadership and proper conduct in society are just as applicable when moderating a guild or on an online forum. I have so much cotton now. Let me do some housekeeping. Okay. So, modern research online reinforces these age-old principles, right? Studies in the Journal of Virtual Communities show that when online communities have clear guidelines and proactive moderation, toxic behavior drops and engagement rises. As a gaming company, just on a side note, you want that to happen. You don't want a toxic environment. You want the ability for everybody to enjoy your game. So you want the engagement to rise and the toxicity to go away, right? I don't know know if I'll need any cotton cloth, but I know I don't have any room up here. I'm gonna have to take some time tomorrow and just look at my inventory stuff. I can't be on my podcast to do that because I have no idea. And throw some of this out as well. There we go. I need 3 more spots. Where can I put this? 3 more spots. There's 1 more spot. I need 1 more spot. I can throw that away. There we go. Alright, so am I throwing all this away? No. I'm not throwing it all away. I am moving it. This is part of your gaming, is you're going to have to structure your house and inventory in such a way where you can find it later. Because you are a hunter-gatherer, is basically, and an adventurer. I adventure a lot, too. I am not happy with that guy there. That's alright. He doesn't look like he's serious about the game, so... Or he's low level. I should drop these off at his house. They're like, what are these? Who put these here? I'm hardly ever online nowadays, but I'll probably be playing this weekend. Okay. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take a moment to drink my Zevia. Non-sponsored spot, but it's a really good soft drink. It has 0 calories, 0 sugar, and it's really good. Tasty. The 0 sugar is actually a plant called stevia, and stevia... The plant stevia can be dried and crushed into a fine powder and used like sugar. However, it's like 10,000 times the sweetness of sugar. So you just need a tiny bit. But Zevia, the soda, they got it right. Sorry about the little ASMR there. Not really what I was looking for. Okay. So let's imagine a scenario where 2 factions are disputing control over a resource-rich area in the game. In Pax Dei, you don't have this as much unless you're in the PvP area. But a moderator can set up a digital forum where representatives can present their cases, right? Drawing on Sun Tzu's insights about understanding your opposition. The moderator can help both sides see that cooperation might benefit everybody. For example, and this works in Pax Dei even outside the PvP areas. The overall or overarching theme would be that the what's a good way of putting it? In your home valley, there might be resources, and they do regenerate fairly quickly. However, if you're playing all the time and they're playing all the time, you might be waiting for this area to renew. And they're like, guys, you can't camp that area. Please, can we do something here? So this is the scenario I would be talking about if we weren't in the PvP area. So to sum up, conflicts in digital spaces follow the same human patterns we see everywhere. By blending Lao Tzu's fluidity with Aristotle's call for honor and using modern digital mediation tools, virtual conflicts can be transformed into opportunities for community building and a more enjoyable gaming experience. At the end of the day, we're here to have fun, right? Oh, I'm picking up stuff so I can go hunt, by the way. That's what I'm doing. Let's see. 2-hand spear is my polearm, so I definitely need that. Shield, I definitely need that. Maybe a one-handed spear. There we go. I'll do the one-handed spear. My sword's up at 40. My one-handed spear is up at 40. Oh, let me do mace. Let me do a mace. There we go. That'll help out. And then because my archery is at 40 as well, I'm just gonna cut down a tree and make some arrows. I shouldn't be using this axe for this, but you know what? Use what you got. If a noob saw me doing this, he'd be like, "What the hell was that guy doing?" Alright, so I need a few more things and then I can go hunt. I'm just looking for wool. There we go. And then what you do is, at the beginning of the game, you can craft stuff without having to have a bench or anything. So it's kind of cool. All right. Now let's tie everything together. As we come to today, at the end of today's episode, let's reflect on our journey. We began by defining conflict management and understanding its significance. We explored personal conflict, learning how awareness, empathy, and clear communication can transform internal strife into growth. In the workplace, we discovered how ancient ethical principles combined with modern mediation techniques can turn disputes into opportunities for collaboration. And in the realm of MMORPGs, we saw that even digital communications benefit from timeless wisdom and structured conflict resolution strategies. There we go. I usually only need 2 arrows, but oh wait, do I really want to stay in my home valley? I don't think so. Let me go to the great hunting grounds where I can get more wool. If somebody built on the pig area, there was like 10 or 12 pigs there, the boars, and it was just awesome because you just had the ability to just mow down as many boar as you want. In the home valley, there's not as much resources. But anyway, let me give you a challenge. I'm going to challenge you to take one of the strategies we discussed today, perhaps adopting a daily journaling practice inspired by Marcus Aurelius, organizing a structured mediation session at work, or even hosting a digital roundtable on your online community. Experiment with these ideas and observe how they change your approach to conflict. Then share your experience with us. Where's the doggy? Can't believe I got him. That was a great shot. You don't understand how much of a shot that was. I totally didn't time that right. When you move across the barrier, your health goes down, and it starts to recover on its natural path. It sucks because if there's monsters right across the barrier, then you're screwed. Alright. So, I'm going to end it there, right? So thank you for joining me on this journey through ancient wisdom and modern science. This has been Pax Dei, The Search for Steel. Episode 104, by the way. Ancient Wisdom for Conflict Management. Remember, conflict isn't the enemy. It's a teacher. Stay thoughtful. Stay strong. And keep searching for that inner steel. Until next time.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand. As I hold my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, but I won't turn back. The lessons I learned keep me on track. With each new skill, the stronger I grow. In the face of the storm, I let my courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of